The transmission that broke the silence at 0400 UTC. Every deep space listening post on Earth received the same command from Council High Command: surrender all experimental warp cores. Failure to comply will be met with force. The message, repeated again and again. Earth Command Headquarters in Kenya. Commander Alea Knox stared at the screen. Her face was calm, but her hands were tight fists behind her back. Around her officers looked nervous. We'll lose everything if we disobey, whispered one. They'll bomb the orbital cities again, muttered another. Alea didn't answer. Instead, she walked to the main console and tapped the global mic button. Her voice was calm, cold, final. This is Earth Command. We will no longer comply. Panic across the stars. The reply shot across the galaxy in under 4 minutes. On over 200 alien worlds, new screens lit up. Earth defies galactic order. Humans reject surrender. A primitive planet challenges council authority. On Vakareth, the amphibian trade planet, merchants froze mid-deal. On Ziora Prime, diplomats spilled their drinks. On Kronthor spaceport, a council captain growled, "They'll pay for this." But something even more strange happened. Earth went silent, no signals, no broadcasts, no open comms. The humans had gone dark, disappearing ships 2 days after Earth's broadcast. Human cargo ships stopped appearing in council track space lanes. Scout drones sent to Earth vanished without a trace. Even the orbital station over Mars, controlled by the council for decades, was suddenly abandoned. No signs of a fight, no signs of life, just gone. Alien fleets began to gather. The council prepared for war, but Earth didn't wait. The destroyed outpost in Sector J11, a small outpost known as Talos Keep, had held over 3,000 enslaved humans. It was surrounded by 3 moons, armed with plasma batteries, and guarded by council enforcers. One quiet night, it exploded. No warning, no enemy seen. Sensors showed the blast came from inside. Some believed it was a prison break. Others whispered about a new human weapon, one that could fold gravity like paper. Survivors were rare, but one transmission got out. A guard, shaking, whispering in a cracked voice. They walked through the walls. They didn't speak, they just looked at us. Then silence. Who was Commander Alea Knox? Born in the slums of post-occupation Boston, Alea grew up watching her father work in alien factories. She saw her mother arrested for hiding forbidden Earth books. She joined the Earth Resistance at age 16. By 30, she was a general. By 45, she led the entire Earth Defense Network. Unlike others, she never bowed to the Council, and she had waited years for this day. The human fleet vanished. Weeks after the Defiance transmission, the Council launched a reconnaissance strike. 30 scout cruisers moved toward Earth's space. Only 6 returned. Their reports were confused. Half spoke of seeing no ships at all. The other half said they'd seen a fleet huge, silent, wrapped in energy shadows. None could agree on what happened. Some said the humans had cloaked tech that made them invisible. Others said the humans used ghost ships. But every one of them agreed on one thing: we were being watched. Underground cities council spies on Earth were caught, almost all of them, before their signals were cut. One last message was sent: humans have gone underground. Entire cities now buried beneath the crust. Factories, war labs, drones. We don't know how deep it goes. We can't track them. These cities, built secretly over decades, were powered by geothermal cores, shielded from detection, protected by AI defense webs. The Council realized something terrifying. Humans had been preparing, for years, a secret weapon. Rumors spread. A rogue scientist from McKellen Fife claimed the humans had developed a dark sun core, portable star, that could power weapons across galaxies. Another rumor said humans had merged organic brains with AI, creating hybrid commanders with faster-than-light thinking. The Council dismissed these as fear stories, but their spies kept disappearing, and every day, more alien planets blocked Earth comes, just in case. The Council's response: an emergency war council gathered on the Council throne world, Quarith Prime. The Supreme Speaker, a massive crystalline being named Veltrix, slammed one of its many limbs on the round table. "They are a minor species, crush them." Others hesitated. "They were minor," said the soft-voiced Zith ambassador. "They are not anymore." The Council decided to send a warning: a small show of force. 50 ships, 2 dreadnoughts, and a threat: obey, or face full extermination. Earth's counter-Movius, the fleet neared Earth. They found something strange: a giant metallic ring floating near the moon. It pulsed softly, silent, waiting. The aliens scanned it. Nothing. happened. They moved closer. The ring exploded inward, not out. It folded into itself, pulling 3 council ships into a space hole no one could explain. The other ships scattered. One dreadnought fired. Earth answered. From behind Mars, a human stealth cruiser decloaked and fired a single beam, blue and curved like liquid light. The dreadnought vanished. No debris. No fire. Just vanished. The human ship vanished. To the message. In the skies across the galaxy, every screen lit up with one message. Black background, red letters, human font. You forced peace upon us. Now you will feel the war you feared. The message repeated 5 times. Then the stars blinked. No one knew why, but some believed Earth had found a way to control light itself. Inside the dome deep under Earth's surface. In Command Dome 9, Commander Alea watched the chaos. Her officers reported alien fleets pulling back, others regrouping. Rebels on distant planets were now sending messages of support. Shall we send reinforcements to the outer systems? Asked her tactical chief. Alea shook her head. No, let them come. Closer, let them see what we've become. She turned to the dark map of the galaxy, now marked with glowing Earth symbols. They thought we were weak because we were patient. Now they'll see what patience has built. Last seen, a young boy in the sky on a small alien world. Far from the center, a child walked outside with his mother. Why are the stars so quiet, Mama? He asked. She looked up. Her hands shook. Because the humans have stopped whispering, she said softly. The boy blinked. Is that bad? She didn't answer. Above them, the stars shimmered. And then, one by one, they began to move. For 3 weeks after Earth's declaration, the planet spoke no more. No signals, no trade, no warnings, only silence. The Galactic Council, used to obedience, was stunned. Earth had always replied, even when scolded, even when robbed, even after the orbital bombings. But now, nothing. That silence, cold and total, echoed louder than any weapon. The empty frequencies, every hour. Council analysts scanned Earth's frequencies. Usually, Earth was noisy news channels, trade calls, songs, even random jokes from board space. Truckers. Now the screens were black. The radios hissed static. A tech specialist on Tarseth 9 leaned back in his chair and whispered, "It's like they turned off the planet." Others checked sensor data. The weather reports were still there. Solar output, magnetic field strengths still normal. But all human comms had gone dark. Deliberately, an uneasy council on the throne world. Nervous whispers filled the halls. "We should strike now," said the Court General. "No," replied the pale-skinned diplomat from Ilari Prime. "What if that's what they want?" Veltrix, the crystalline council speaker, tapped its long fingers together. "They think hiding makes them powerful." "They are not hiding," someone muttered. "They're preparing." The room fell silent. The vanishing outposts across the galaxy, human trade outposts, began disappearing. One by one, some were in neutral zones, some were in council territory, but all of them were shut down within days. No battles, no damage, just gone. At Port Xylem 3, a patrol ship found the human station empty. The docked ships were still there, lights on, engines warm, but not a single person inside. A cup of tea was still hot on the command table. One word was carved into the metal wall: enough. The red beacon on the moon of Yelna 2. A council military station received a signal from deep space. It wasn't a message, it was a warning. A small red drone entered orbit. It pulsed with low radiation and non-lethal. The station scientists captured it and opened the data core. Only 2 things were inside: a map of Yelna's military bases, a human voice message: "We see you." The station commander fainted. Earth Schrode Council stealth probe finally reached Earth orbit. It didn't survive, but it sent back 3 seconds of footage. The planet was covered in a strange layer of shifting clouds, dark, metallic, alive, like a second atmosphere. That the probe's sensors were overwhelmed. Light didn't behave correctly. Sound bent. Time, even, seemed to slow for a moment. Then the feed cut. Council scientists argued for days. One said it was a quantum shrouder field that twisted the laws of physics. Another whispered the worst theory: maybe Earth isn't on the same timeline anymore. The general's nightmare, Commander Corix of the 9th Council Fleet, was old and proud. He believed humans were still weak. But one night, he dreamed of fire. In the dream, human ships surrounded his fleet. They didn't fire. They just stared. Then, every ship on his side began to float, crews screaming. Inside B4 folding inward like crushed cans. He woke up drenched in sweat. His ship's AI had logged strange electrical surges during the night. He issued one order: Keep us away from Earth space, for now. The smuggler's story. Victor, a lizard-like smuggler, arrived at Trinok Station with a wild tale. I flew near Mars, he said. Not close, just near. My ship. It stopped working, engines fine, fuel full, but it just refused. Like it didn't want to go closer. The bar went quiet. Vexed eyes darted, and I heard something. A voice. Female.com, she said. This is not your path then. I woke up on the edge of Saturn. Impossible, someone whispered. Vek leaned in. That's what I thought. Fear grows in the council. Species across the galaxy started panicking. On Zelth Prime, a crowd burned human flags, then ran when the sky flickered with blue light. On Lorvik, 2 teachers stopped using Earth history in school, afraid it might anger humans. Even council military stations began deleting their human research files. One admiral said, better to erase the past than become a part of it. The last inspection mission, the council sent one last diplomatic vessel toward Earth, a peaceful end. 12 species on board. It never returned, but weeks later a new satellite appeared over Quareth Prime. It contained the diplomatic ship undamaged, floating inside a stasis bubble. The message inside read, we will not be inspected. We will not be observed. If you want peace, remember what that means. Human rebels across the stars while Earth stayed silent. Human colonies on distant moons and planets began to stir. Some colonies had been beaten down for years, but now they started pushing back. On Eridu 6, humans refused to mine anymore. Instead, they sealed themselves inside the mountain and jammed all comms. On Port Blazer, a lone human engineer shut down an entire alien cruiser by rewiring its core. On Zealand Ring, a group of human kids built a plasma slingshot that disabled a drone ship. The galaxy was watching, and humans, once afraid, were rising. Message from Aliani. Week after the council's last failed contact, a transmission finally came from Earth. It was short.com, delivered in Alea Knox's voice. We do not seek war, but we will not accept chains. We offered peace for centuries. You took it as weakness. You fear our silence. You should, because silence means we are done asking. Alien reactions on Ziran 4, the council. Governor resigned after seeing the message. He packed up and left without a word. On Threxium Station, a young alien student played the message on repeat and said, this is how a species sounds when they've had enough. On Drexa 5, rebels painted Alea's words on walls in glowing ink. We are done asking. At final Testoni Council warlord Rolvek decided to test the humans. He sent a small strike force to one of Earth's farthest mining stations Beta-12. It never arrived. Instead, the station sent back the strike ship's captain alive, confused, and terrified. He had no memory of what happened, but his ship was now powered by an unknown energy. Quiet, cold, efficient. The humans didn't fight him. They simply rewired his future. Last seen, the young Zithan, a peaceful farm world. A young Zith girl asked her father, are the humans going to destroy us? Her father stared at the sky. No, he said. They could have done that already. Then what will they do? He sighed. They will change the rules. The outer rim of the galaxy had always been wild, lawless, full of smugglers, pirates, broken colonies, and quiet wars. The Galactic Council rarely cared what happened there, until the whispers began. Ships were vanishing. Pirate strongholds were going dark, and in the empty black between systems, strange lights were moving. No one knew where they came from, but everyone was afraid. A ship called Silence, Captain Brell of the smuggler ship, Dust Viper, was the first to report them. He'd been hauling illegal tech through the asteroid belt of Veroxet when something appeared. Behind him, not a ship, a shadow, long, silent, and cold. It didn't show on scanners. It didn't send signals. It simply followed him. For hours. Then it vanished. Brell reached the next station, screaming. He had never screamed before. They don't speak at a remote trading post on Phaler's Edge. A crew of bounty hunters arrived half dead. Their ship was burned. Their weapons melted. Their AI-erased. They told one story. We tried to raid a human cargo ship. Easy target. No escort. But they didn't fight back. They just stood there. Suits of armor. Glowing eyes. They didn't speak, didn't shoot, just looked at us, and our ship shut down. One of them began crying. We're lucky they let us live. Rumors spread like fire within days. Tales of ghost ships filled the cum channels of the outer rim. They came without warning. No engine trails, no signals, no sound. One ship was seen floating near Corin's Drift, where it blinked out and reappeared on the other side of a moon, in seconds. Another was spotted in the clouds of Vixar 2, glowing red. then vanished as 5 pirate cruisers exploded without impact. The name stuck, Silent Runners, and the pirates started vanishing. Pirate lords gather at the Black Spire Concord. 10 pirate warlords met in secret. They were angry, terrified. The humans are taking the rim, one shouted. They're using tech we've never seen, said another. Ghost tech, muttered a third. We can't fight what we can't see. The oldest among them, Krath, known as the Scar, King, stood slowly. I saw them, he said. They boarded my station on Vaughn 5, didn't kill anyone, just destroyed my slave database, freed the humans and left. What do they want? Someone whispered. Krath's answer was cold. They want us to remember. Council denial. When the council heard these rumors, they laughed. The Outer Rim is always chaotic, Beltrix declared. This is just myth and fear. But deep down, they were worried. Council scouts were sent to investigate. Only one returned. She delivered no report, no speech, only a black cube with Earth's seal. Inside was a voice. Stay out of the rim. A hidden base found. A council drone found something near the ice fields of Yana 7. A floating station with no registry. It was shaped like a spiral, pulsing blue and white. A stealth probe entered its range. And shut down instantly. The last image it sent was terrifying. A single human, standing in open vacuum, looking directly at the drone. No helmet, no fear, just watching. A message to the outlaw. 72 known outlaw frequencies. A signal was broadcast. It came from Earth, spoken by a human woman, her voice calm, unapologetic. You stole from us. You sold us. You hunted our children across the stars. Now you will learn. We will not become you. We will not rule with fear, but we will make you remember the cost of forgetting what we are. The message ended with coordinates. Each one led to a place where a human colony had once been attacked, and in each location, a new Earth symbol was glowing in the dirt, a single circle with 3 lines through it, the sign of never again. Rebel forces emerged inspired by Earth's defiance. Former pirates began switching sides. One Cruther Scarblade surrendered, and delivered 10 alien prisoners. Earth had been hunting. Another, the notorious Red Drifters, sent a simple message. We don't want to fight Earth. We want to join. These defectors were welcomed, and they spoke of what they saw in human bases, ships made of crystal and steel, AI that could speak emotion, pilots trained to fly without sound, and soldiers who never raised their voices, only their eyes. The ghost of Trellenzix, a mining crew on Trellenzix, heard music one night. Not static, not noise. Real music. Old human songs, slow and deep, playing across the stars. They followed it, and found a small drone. Human-made, ancient. It played a song and projected an image of Earth. Then it exploded. No fire, just a flash of pure white, and the crew swore. They felt hope. They left mining that day. And started building schools. The Galactic Council's silencing inside the council chambers. The members finally understood something. Earth was not taking the Outer Rim by force. They were reclaiming respect, not with bombs, but with memories. Every act reminded the galaxy what had been done to humans, and what they were now. Final scene. A child in the Dustin, a dry, forgotten world in the Outer Rim. A child stood in the sand. She had never seen Earth, but she carried a small device built from scraps, a human beacon. When she pressed it, it hummed softly. A tiny voice spoke. A child's voice from Earth. We're still here, and we're not afraid anymore. The sky above Earth was no longer empty. 12 Galactic Council fleets arrived, their ships blotting out the stars like a mechanical storm. Over 800 warships, 2 dreadnoughts, hundreds of support cruisers, strike carriers, and drone hives. They called it Operation Final Compliance. The mission: force Earth back into submission. But what happened next would be remembered by every world for the rest of time. It became known as the Day of Ashes. The ultimatum. The Council sent a final warning, broadcast to all human channels. Earth Command: this is your last chance. Surrender your weapons, your technology, and your defiance. You have 10 minutes. Inside Command, Dome 9, deep under the crust of Africa. Commander Alea Knox listened. She said nothing. Her officers waited. The room was silent, except for the soft hum of the Planetary Defense Corps. Alea stood slowly and said, just 3 words: activate the veil. The sky turns red above the Earth. The Council fleet waited. At minute 9, something changed. The clouds over Earth swirled violently, then turned red. Not the red of sunset, but the red of burning iron. Then came the light, not from below, but from space itself. From behind the moon, a ring-shaped structure began to unfold quietly, smoothly, without a single sound. It pulsed with energy. The Council scanners lit up with warnings: unstable gravitational readings, quantum pulse detected, time drift anomaly. One dreadnought fired. And that's when the Earth responded. The silence before the storm. There was no explosion, no flash dot, just silence. Then the lead cruiser of the fourth alien fleet folded inward like paper caught in a vacuum. It collapsed and vanished. Then two more. A third exploded, not from impact, but from inside, as if its own energy turned against it. A few alien ships tried to run, they never made it. Human weapon, the Gravity Halo. Council scientists would later give Earth's defense system a name: the Gravity Halo. It was not a laser, not a bomb, not a missile. It was a weaponized distortion field capable of folding space itself in small, targeted zones. Instead of firing at ships, it bent the space around them, ripping them apart silently. One scientist said, "It doesn't destroy matter. It makes the universe forget it existed." Panic in the Council fleet's Admiral Corps, leader of the invasion, shouted for retreat, but communications went dead. The human Valen invisible fields surrounding the Earth jammed all Council tech. AI guidance failed. Weapons shut down. Fleets crashed into each other like blind giants. Earth didn't chase, didn't fire again, it just watched, and when the smoke cleared, only 50 alien ships remained limping away from Earth. Over 750 had vanished in less than 9 minutes. The broadcasters, the remaining ships, escaped. Every screen in the Council territories lit up, a simple message. Commander Alea stood in front of a black background. Her uniform clean. Her voice cold and steady. "We did not start this, but we ended it. If you come again, bring more than ships. Bring your memory, because we remember everything." The world reacts across the galaxy. Entire species paused. On Thyraxis children cried. On Harnex Reach, a priest dropped his sacred texts. On Suvian Delta, an alien queen watched the sky and whispered. They held back all this time. The ashes of the moon satellite images showed the moon, littered with wreckage. Ships had tried to hide behind it. Useless now, their broken pieces drifted in silence. One human drone floated among the debris. It played a sound on loop, a heartbeat slow, steady, alive. It was Earth's only message. We are not dead. We were never sleeping. Alien soldiers speak out. Survivors from the Council fleets began to speak. Many had been drafted, not volunteers. One pilot said, "I looked down at Earth and I swear the planet looked back." Another whispered, "We thought they were still the species we conquered. We were wrong." A wounded captain cried on a live broadcast, repeating over and over, "They didn't scream, they didn't yell, they just ended us." Council crisisins of the throne world chambers. Chaos broke out. Veltrix, the Council speaker, slammed its crystal limbs on the marble floor. "They committed war crimes." "No," said the Zith ambassador softly. "They warned us. We cannot let them grow stronger. But we already have." The room fell silent. A new fear had taken hold, not just of Earth's weapons, but of Earth's mind. They had waited 2 centuries, quiet, watching, and then, in 9 minutes, they changed everything. A fire in the sky on the mining world of Dravo 7. Workers looked up and saw the red haze still flickering in the sky. Someone asked, "Is it over?" A human miner shook his head. "No," he said. "This was just Earth waking up." Reactions from the outer rim. The pirate gangs stopped raiding human zones. Many joined Earth's expanding shadow fleets. Human-built outposts started appearing overnight, perfectly organized. Always silent, no banners, no demands, just presence. And every new station bore the same mark, a single circle with 3 vertical lines, the mark of no more chains. The next ep. Commander Alea stood before the Human Council underground. "We defended Earth," one general said. "Now what?" Alea pointed to a map of the stars. Dots glowed where humans had once been enslaved, abused, forgotten. "Now," she said, "we free the others." Final scene. A boy in a book in a quiet alien school. A young boy held a book of Earth's history, looked up and asked, "Why did they wait so long?" His teacher, an old woman with tired eyes, replied, "Because patience is what made them dangerous." The boy blinked. "Will they come here?" The woman nodded. Double quotes, "Only if we forget what we did." When the Galactic Council failed to break Earth, the galaxy began to shift, not with weapons, not with war, but with whispers, on forgotten worlds, among old slaves and tired minds. A new hope began to grow. Humans weren't just fighting back, they were winning, and now, others wanted to rise. The first rebellion and Threxa too. The Varnic species had been enslaved for 300 years. Their bodies were strong, but their minds had been controlled by Council tech. They obeyed without question, until the broadcast came, a simple, Message from Earth, played in the dark minds. We remembered your silence. Now remember your voice. It wasn't long before the overseers were overpowered. The Varnak stood in the sunlight for the first time in generations. They looked to the stars and waited for humanity. Fire on Zelta stations. Zelta station was known as a prison hub for dissidents, mostly small rebellions. Quickly crushed. But something different happened this time. 3 guards disappeared. Then 10 top security systems failed, and someone began playing Earth's anthem through the comms. When the Council sent reinforcements, the prisoners had already taken control. A Vith commander left a final message before blowing the main reactor. We were not broken, only waiting. Humanity responds inside Earth's deep command domes. Commander Alea reviewed the new transmissions. 27 uprisings in 3 weeks, said her communications officer, most of them sparked by Earth's example. Alea nodded. She said, "Let the galaxy rise. But what do we do?" Alea stared at the star map, at systems marked in red. Then she tapped a button. "We send them tools, we send them plans, we send them hope." Earth's quiet invasion. Humanity did not send fleets, they sent engineers, technicians, AI teachers, downloaded into old colony systems. They sent medical drones, clean water generators, and power cores that ran on starlight. And everywhere they went, they left behind 3 things: a shield generator, a transmitter, a simple phrase, "You are not alone anymore." A message from the darkness on Kryla 7. A blind alien named Elta recorded a transmission. She had once been the leader of a rebellion long ago, long forgotten, now old and weak. She wept as the message played on her wall. Earth's voice, Alea. Words. She turned to her followers. "We are not the last spark. The fire has returned." They stood in silence, then picked up their weapons. Council tries to hide the truth. The Council labeled the rebel uprisings isolated disturbances. They cut broadcasts, they banned the human language on public channels, they erased records of Earth's survival from school databases. But it was too late. Even in silence, the truth had spread. On every street, in every shadow, children whispered the words. They said no, and they meant it. Operation Emberwatch. Earth launched a hidden program code name, Emberwatch. Their goal: find every oppressed species, every hidden rebel, every forgotten cry. Covert agents, human and non-human. In disguised ships, they offered no promises, just one question: do you still want to be free? If the answer was yes, Earth gave them what they needed. Sometimes it was food, sometimes a signal jammer, sometimes just a voice on the other side. The alien who switched sides, General Cath of the Council Army, had destroyed 6 uprisings in his career. But when he was sent to crush the Varnak again, something changed. He saw their eyes. Saw a child holding a human med-kit, and when his soldiers asked for orders, he said, "We're not here to fight." He dropped his rifle. And joined them. His defection made headlines across 3 sectors. Alea's only response: "We welcome all who choose dignity." A new alliance. The rebels began to unite not just with Earth, but with each other. Zeltari met Varnak. Varnak helped ILARII. I sent data to the Arachon Collective, and Earth watched quietly, letting them lead. This wasn't about humans, it was about freedom. But everywhere they gathered, one symbol appeared on walls, banners, and ships. 3 vertical lines across a circle. The symbol of no more chains. The Council launched violent strikes on rebel zones. They used plasma storms, blackout pulsers, and memory erasers. They called it restoring order. But for every rebel they destroyed, 10 more rose. Because now they had something they never had before. Proof that the strong could fall, that Earth had stood up and survived. Underground broadcasting. A rainy night on Kavros 3, a signal crackled through illegal channels. It was ALEYA.live. Her voice soft, but iron steady. "You don't need Earth's weapons. You need your voice. They took your sky, your past, your names. Take them back. Not with rage, but with memory. You are not rebels anymore. You are free. Old enemies. Remember, on Council worlds, veterans of Earth's past wars began speaking. One said, I fought the humans when they were weak. I watched them lose. Now they have become the thing the galaxy fears, but they are not cruel. They are just. Final scene. A new flag rises on a remote jungle planet. A group of rebels stood on a burned field. They raised a flag, not Earth's, but their own, designed by children, sewn from old cloth. But at the top corner, 3 lines crossed a black circle, and written beneath it, inspired by Earth, powered by hope. Before Earth rose, before the Council ruled the stars, Something ancient was buried beneath the frozen crust of Europa, one of Jupiter's coldest moons. It had no name, no signal, no warning. But humanity found it first, and what they woke beneath the ice changed the course of the war. The signal it began with a whisper, a strange pulse, deep under Europa's ice oceans, detected by a forgotten probe. It wasn't council tech, and it wasn't human. The pattern was rhythmic, alive, like a heartbeat, from a sleeping god. At Earth Command, Commander Alea Knox listened to the report. Her scientists asked, "Should we investigate?" She gave one nod. "Send the Black Ark." The Descent. The Black Ark was Earth's deep exploration vessel, armored, silent, powered by quantum dark energy. It arrived in Europa's orbit silently. No council forces were nearby. Human drones drilled through 10 kilometers of frozen shell, past toxic salt and boiling plumes. Then they found the door. It was not made of metal, not stone. It shimmered live, vibrating with impossible light. The surface reacted to human touch and opened. Inside the chamber beneath Europa, the team entered a vast dome. It was warm, lit by soft glowing vines that weren't alive but weren't dead either. Floating in the center was a machine. It looked like a sphere with thousands of spinning rings, some moving forward in time, others backward. AI sensors failed, scanners shut down, even speech felt slowed. Then the device spoke. Not in words, but in thoughts, and only the human minds could hear it. The warning Alea herself came down to the chamber. The machine responded to her presence. Its glow shifted brighter, pulsing like breath. Then it sent a message into her mind. "You are not like them. You are broken, and because you are broken, you can change. They used me once. They tried to hold time still. I refused. Now I am yours." The truth of the artifact back on Earth. Ancient human texts were decoded with help from the device's signals. What the Council called the Don Cora myth was real. The Council hadn't built it. They had found it, tried to use it, but it had rejected them, locked itself away. Europa wasn't just a frozen moon, it was a vault. And Earth had the key. Council interference. The Council detected a burst of quantum energy from Europa too strong to hide. A fleet was dispatched fast, but by the time they reached the moon, the Black Ark was gone. The dome was sealed, and the surface had refrozen. All that remained was a symbol carved in the ice, 3 lines through a circle, and a message. Too late. The return to Earth. When the Black Ark returned, it brought back the device now named the Mind of Europa. It was not a weapon, but it could see patterns across time, and it began to help Earth calculate events before they happened, fleet movements, enemy positions, alliance fractures, rebel flare-ups. It saw what might be, and Alea used it with caution. A dangerous gift. Some generals wanted to use the device to strike preemptively, to destroy entire fleets before they even launched, but Alea refused. "If we use it to dominate, we become them," she said. "We will win with truth, not fear." Still, she allowed it one task: find every world where the Council hid our people. Rescues began, guided by the Mind of Europa. Earth launched silent strikes. Prison worlds were found. Ships long thought lost were recovered. Thousands of humans who had vanished decades ago were freed. Many were old, some broken, but they stood straight. When Earth came, one prisoner whispered, "I dreamed of this moment. I just didn't think I'd live to see it." The Council panics. The Council's data networks began to fail. Every system corrupted. Their war maps made no sense. The Mind of Europa wasn't just helping Earth. It was undoing the Council's hold on time itself. Events were shifting, plans unraveling, and worst of all, they didn't know how. A message to the galaxy. Earth broadcast again. This time, not just Alea, but a council of humans, scientists, children, survivors. Their message was simple. They buried truth under ice. We melted it. If you are still afraid, look to Europa. The future is not written by the Council anymore. Last Council strategy. Veltrix, the crystalline Council speaker, ordered a desperate act. Destroy Europa, it hissed. If we cannot control what is hidden, no one can. But before the fleet arrived, the moon was gone, not destroyed. Just moved. Displaced. To a location only the Mind knew. The Council never found it again. Final scene beneath a new sky in an underground chamber, far from any stars. The device pulsed gently. A human child stood near it, watching with wide eyes. The machine whispered only one thing into the child's thoughts: "You will inherit more than Earth. You will inherit truth." Varthex Prime was the shining jewel of the Galactic Council, a world of glass towers and floating cities, of order, pride, and power, home to the Council's high command, treasury, and archives. It had never seen war. never heard rebellion, and never feared anything. Until the day the sky changed, until humanity arrived. The ripple in the clouds it started with a shimmer, a faint ripple high above the atmosphere, almost invisible to the naked eye. Council Air Control noticed it first. Unregistered anomaly in upper orbit, the operator said. Stealth drive signature. No sir, it's not a drive, it's a shadow. For hours, it just hovered, watching the parade of power that day. A grand parade was planned in the capital city of Elchorus. Council officials, diplomats, and warlords were gathered for a show of strength after the failed invasion of Earth. 12 council banners, 3,000 elite soldiers marching. A live broadcast to 50 planets. The speaker Veltrix stood proudly above it all. Then the sky opened, the silent storm. It didn't explode, it didn't roar. A soft humming filled the air, strange, beautiful, haunting. People looked up and saw it, a massive ring, dark and smooth, descending slowly through the clouds. Not a ship, a doorway. From within it, lights blinked, not weapons, messages, symbols, words in dozens of alien languages. One repeating phrase, you forgot us. Human arrival from the portal. 7 ships emerged, each different, each marked with the human circle and 3 lines. Not a fleet of destruction, but a council of humanity. Diplomats, survivors, AI, even children. No weapons raised, no shields active. Just presence. Earth had not come to destroy Varthex Prime. Earth had come to speak. The refusal. The council panicked. Veltrix roared. Shut them out. Anti-air systems locked onto the human ships. But the weapons jammed, turned inward, froze. Earth's technology had already unraveled their control grids. Then Alea Nox's voice echoed across the city, not on screens, but inside every mind. We are not conquerors. We are the memory you tried to erase, and memory has arrived. A show of truths on every broadcast. Human history began playing. The forced labor camps on Zenthia 4, the orbital branding of Earth's atmosphere, the Council's secret files on sterilization programs, the betrayal of the human peace envoys 2 centuries ago, unedited, raw. Millions across the planet watched in silence. Even Council citizens had never seen these truths, and once they saw, they could not unsee. A voice from within. Surprisingly, one voice rose in support of Earth from a Council species. Ambassador Tlor of the Zith stood before the Grand Senate. I was born believing humans were dangerous. Now I see they were made dangerous, not by blood, but by betrayal. And if they can rise after all we did, then maybe they deserve to lead. The room fell silent. Council fractious. 3 species walked out of the council chambers that day. 2 more refused to speak, and in distant cities, alien citizens began painting human symbols on their walls, not out of fear, but respect. A quiet rebellion was blooming at the heart of the council's capital. Humanity's only demand from her ship above Varthex. Alea made one demand: give us back the stolen, the humans still held in labs, in cages, in black files you pretend don't exist. We know their names, we know their cells, we are here to take them home. The rescue in an underground prison beneath the oceans of Varthex. Human operatives broke the seals. The guards fled. Inside, over 500 surviving humans were found, some born in cages, some tortured for data. They had never seen stars. Now they were held gently, fed, healed. One child asked, is the sky still real? The answer came with a soft smile. Yes, and it belongs to you now. Council collapsed. That was the breaking point. The Council lost control of its systems. Entire archives were leaked. Private slave deals, genetic experiments, propaganda algorithms. Billions now saw the truth, and no one trusted the Council anymore. The skylights, Upus, the human ships left Varthex Prime. Thousands looked up. They expected war. Instead, they saw beauty. The portal above shifted, casting a rainbow light across the sky. Music followed, an old human melody. Warm, and a single message blinked in the sky above. We are not here to rule. We are here to remind. Final scene. A whispered prayer. Young alien girl, once raised to fear humans, knelt in her bedroom. She whispered, if they could forgive us, maybe we can forgive ourselves. She placed a symbol by her window. A circle. 3 lines. Not as surrender, but as hope. The galaxy had changed. Not because Earth raised its fists, but because Earth refused to bow again. The council that once ruled thousands of worlds stood fractured, silent. And across the stars and broken planets, in dark minds, and forgotten colonies, a question rose. If the humans can rise, what else is possible? This was not just Earth's fight anymore. This was a beginning. The signal that shook the void. It began on the edge of known space beyond Kiran's edge, past the starless veil, a signal. Not human. Not council. Something older. It had been quiet for eons. Now it spoke. Only the humans could read it. The mind of Europa, glowing with strange blue light, decoded the message in Earth's hidden chamber. You have awakened the memory of the stars. If you are ready, come. The final council gathering. The remaining council members met in desperation. Veltrix was gone, turned to dust by its own guards. Dozens of species had left the council completely. Now, fear ruled the chamber. One ambassador said, "The humans are calling something." Another whispered, "No, the stars are calling them." For the first time in centuries, the council chose silence. They would not fight. Not because they had no weapons, but because they no longer had the will. Earth's choice. In the deep halls of Earth Command, Alea Nox stood before the leaders of the new alliance, humans and non-humans alike. She looked at the decoded signal glowing on the wall. "This is not about war," she said. "This is the next step. We were prisoners of the council. Now we have a chance to become something else." She turned to her team. "Prepare the Unity ship." The Unity ship was Earth's greatest creation. Not a battleship. Not a fortress, but a vessel built for first contact. Half made of Terran steel, half made from rebel alien tech, guided by an AI born in the mind of Europa. Inside were scientists, poets, engineers, and a child born in a council cage. This was not a mission of power, it was a mission of truth. Into the unknown the Unity ship passed through the ancient signal gate. No weapons, no escorts, only hope. Beyond the gate was not space, it was something else, a place between stars, filled with light and memory. N in the center. A structure shaped like a star, spinning slowly, alive with thought. The ancient architects. The ones who came before the council. Waiting. The conversational lay stood before the architects, not in body, but in mind. They spoke in memories. They showed her the rise of the first civilizations, the corruption of power. The fall of freedom. And then they showed her Earth scarred, stubborn, and kind. They said, "You remembered who you were. That is why we listen now. Teach others, not with fire, but with choice." The return. When the Unity ship came back, it carried a seed, not of war but of peace, a gift from the architects. The star code, a map of all lost civilizations, all forgotten voices, and a way to awaken them. Earth didn't keep it, they shared it with every species, even former enemies. The message was clear: we do not rise alone. A new ordering place of the council. A new circle formed, not of rulers, but of voices. Each species, human and alien, was given a seat. No one led. All listened, and at the center of the circle was not a flag, but a symbol, a circle crossed by 3 lines. The symbol of memory. Of struggle. Of freedom. The stories spread on Threxa too. The Varnok taught their children about Alea Stand, on Zelta Station. The once abandoned rebels built schools using Earth's blueprints. On Varthex Prime, old statues were torn down and replaced with a sculpture of hands reaching toward the stars. Even on the council's old throne world, no one spoke with fear of humans anymore. They spoke with respect. The final words. A monument was built in Earth's orbit, made of council wreckage and shattered chains. At its base, a message written in all known languages: we were broken, we were beaten, but we remembered, and the stars listened. Last scene, a quiet farm on Mars. A human child walked with a Zith friend through fields under Mars' second dome. The Zith asked, "Is the war really over?" The human smiled. "No," he said. "It's just different now." They looked up as a ship passed across the red sky, its sails painted with the Unity mark. And somewhere beyond the stars, a new signal pulsed, waiting for someone to listen.